So Jesselyn, if you were going to make this movie, where would it start?
It would start, like, from the beginning. Hi, my name is Jesselyn, JessZilla's Silva.
At 9 years old, Jesselyn Silva has, pound for pound, more ferocity and drive than boxers twice her age.
Jesselyn started at 7 years old. Every coach that ever watched her fight mentioned that she is the future of boxing.
My big goal, I want to go to the 2024 Olympics and win the gold. I know I want to do that.
We in the hurt business. And we want to do the hurting, not the hurting doing us. Correct?
Watching her fight drains me. I feel like I'm getting hit. It's a combat sport. Basically, it's life and death.
I was gonna throw up.
Well, why do you let her do it then?
That's what she wants to do. If she want to be a ballerina, she could be a ballerina. If she want to be a basketball player, she could be a basketball player.
Getting hit in the face is not fun, but it's fun to hit somebody in the face.
It's really cool to have a family in the gym and out the gym. I'm actually really proud that I'm a female boxer because it's a male-dominated sport and I'm inspiring other little girls to do it. I would like to tell little girls to never give up, always keep pushing no matter what anybody's telling you.
Don't have in other words. Yeah, go ahead. That's what I tell you, so
Language.
tell them.
Yeah, but the little girls.
I knew there was something wrong. We got the MRIs done, and my worst nightmare came true. My daughter's a fighter. She gonna fight this, man.
Everybody goes through something in life. Either make you stronger or weaker. Just gotta fight.
If you were directing this movie, how would it end?
I'm not even close to the end.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this WBC Talks. This is going to be very emotional, of course. It has been, this is the topic of the month for WBC Cares. Let me first introduce Xochitl Lagarda. She's the director of the WBC University. Xochitl, how are you?
Hi, Victor. Hi, everybody. Well, I'm very emotional, like you said, and I want to welcome, of course, Chris and Jill and you. But for me, it's very special to welcome Pedro, Jess' father, and also to congratulate Emily, because you have both been very, well, Pedro, I'm a mother, and I can't imagine what you went through, but sharing your story, it makes us strong. It makes us very strong, and I really respect and admire you as from parent to parent. And Emily, the way you have captured this movie and everything, well, it's a message to the whole world. And Jess is not the only one, and Pedro, you're not the only one, but your example is going to give us a strength. Welcome, and WBC University, and this talk is your home. Whenever you want to share anything, we're here for you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, let me introduce Chris Mansour. Chris is the co-chair of WBC Cares. Chris, welcome.
Hello, Victor. Hello, Pedro, Emily, Jill, Xochitl, everybody. One of our values is strength. As human beings is strength. And I cannot understand what Pedro has been through. This is one of the things you pray every day not to happen to anyone. And when it happened and I was able to watch the movie, it was so touching. I couldn't understand the strength of Jess. She was even smiling when everything was going on. She was happy. She was holding everyone together. And to her and to all of those champions outside the ring, she will be a pioneer for us to know that there are champions that have to be acknowledged, even when they have not fought inside the ring. They have been fighting outside the ring, and their legacy is as important as any other champion. So, Emily, the way you captured everything was really impressive. It was like she was part of our family, and we were feeling the empathy. Of course, we cannot say we know what it feels to go through that, but of course, it touched our hearts. So I am very happy to know that Jess is going to be one of our pioneers, acknowledging all of those champions that have fought outside the ring, leaving a beautiful and legacy and have to be remembered after that.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I think, and I'm sure Pedro feels the same way, going in, she was so brave and she loved boxing so much. It was her heart and soul. And when she did get sick, we thought about how we were going to tell her story. And I did not want to make it just about sort of her experiencing cancer and how she fought. To me, boxing prepared her for that fight. It prepared Pedro for that fight. And that love that you see and that courage that got her in the ring, I think is also the courage that allowed her to smile throughout all of her treatments and surgeries. And so thank you guys for honoring her and also talking about this, because as you said, she's not the only person who's going through this, and we want her legacy to be one that helps other people and other families.
Thank you, Emily. And now Jill Diamond.
Hello, everybody. Firstly, let me just say this is Emily Cheskin, who is the director and the driving force behind this movie. And when she started this movie, correct me if I'm wrong, Emily, it was about what a young girl would go through on her journey to the Olympics. And then this terrible turn happened, at which point the film group and the family had to decide, I'm sure, whether they wanted to continue on this path and create this movie. And I don't know what went into that process, but I know that the movie reads like a Valentine's to boxing, despite the sadness of the ending. So could you tell us how you came together and how that decision was made to continue after this diagnosis was made with this 3-time national champion, this unbelievable young girl who was just beloved by the community and the press at that time?
Yeah, Jill, you're 100% right. We wanted to follow Jesselyn to the Olympics because we believed that she would go. And I have no doubt she would have had she not gotten the diagnosis. But, it was Jesselyn who wanted to keep filming. And I think that's a really important thing. When she got sick, Pedro and I were talking on the phone, and it was sort of, the movie did not matter at that point. We were just talking about her care and his plans and all of that. And she was the one who said, when are we going to film again? And I remember Pedro calling me and saying, Jesselyn is asking when we're going to film. What do I tell her? And I said, for years, every year we would kind of do a check-in to make sure that she was still okay with filming. She still wanted to. And we did the same thing where we had a conversation about, like, what do you want? Why do you want to keep filming? Because things are going to change. And she wanted to show people that they could be brave. She wanted to inspire people. She wanted them to know that you could face really hard things, because she knew she wasn't the only one, and she wanted to be an example. And so I don't think, and Pedro, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we would have made the film if Jesselyn had not been the person she was, which was not only just an incredibly dynamic, charismatic, funny, amazing young woman, but she was also somebody who really cared about service and cared about other people. And I think, what's so important about our film is we want to continue the work that she started. We made a promise that we would, and that's kind of how I see what we're doing now, and even talking with you all.
Well, Pedro came to us with the idea of joining together. And Chris and I, and of course Mauricio, we decided to do the Go Gray in May to honor awareness of brain cancer. And by coincidence, in the same month, Chris's mother-in-law Mauricio Suleiman's mother passed away also from brain cancer. I mean, obviously, this is a disease that extends far beyond the ring. And then in September, we will do the same thing with pediatric brain cancer. But Pedro, why did you come to us? I mean, what made you think of coming to the World Boxing Council to do this?
To be honest, just brainstorming. Who can I connect with? Emily told me if I think of anybody to reach out to, just do it. And you guys, well, Mauricio's face came in my head. I remember literally his face, the image of his face came in my brain. And then I thought of you. And I was like, yes, I do have a connection with somebody there. So let me contact Jill. But that's how that went about. But yeah, that's how that went about.
And did you,
As far,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, did you expect us to jump on it? Like, I mean, we are so behind you, right, Chris? I mean, this is,
Yeah, I
Yes,
did
ma'am.
expect it. I did expect it. Not that I expect you guys to, to automatically do, but I had a feeling. I had a feeling that you guys would do something about. I don't know. I had a feeling. It's weird, but I had a feeling you guys would do something. Be part of it. And I'm glad. I'm happy. I'm happy you guys joined. But my thing with the film, because we was talking about the film, is the educational part. Like that's my thing with the film. Like I have a vision with the film to use it to educate people. And I don't know if you want me to talk about an idea I have right now at this moment.
you can talk about
Pedro,
anything,
Absolutely.
right, Chris? Right, Victor?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah,
because they're
but
gonna edit
I
it
would like
afterwards.
I would like to go back in time, Pedro, so the people understand. Those
Yeah,
who
go ahead.
are not related to the story of Jesselyn, would you please explain us who was she? We are not related, even when we have the same last name. This is the first time that I met Pedro, but I saw the video of Jesselyn long time ago when she started boxing. That Jill brought this video, and I was so amazed with this little girl and that energy and how she handled the camera. Emily can tell us about this. My background is a TV producer, so I love when I see people that the camera love this kind of people, and this was exactly what I saw with Jesselyn.
I had the pleasure of meeting her briefly. She boxed out of New Jersey, and Coach Jackie was one of her friends there. And she was what we call a pistol. She was a Spitfire, and she kind of dragged you along, right, Pedro? You were not so into women boxing. Black eyes on little girls was not your dream for her.
No, I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that. I'm not your traditional parent. I always roughhouse with my kids at a young age. Like I play rough with them, so that it's normal for me and her. But you guys got me emotional right now.
That's
Oh.
fine. Chris's son is very avid in boxing now, her youngest son, and she understands a little bit about what you go through when you send one of your kids off to spar. Forget about even the illness, just that there's risks everywhere. There are risks everywhere. Chris, how does it feel when your son comes back with a black hair?
Well, first of all, he keeps lying to us because he won't tell us he's going sparring. So at some point I know, but the father doesn't. So, well, it's a secret that we all know. I don't really support that, but he wants to do it and he's going to do it. So what's my option? Only to support. But as you were saying, Pedro, there are no coincidences in life. Things happen for a reason. And when you say Mauricio's face came to your head immediately, he was going through same situation. Of course, it's not always the mother than the daughter. It will never be the same because not having a mother, you are an orphan, but don't having a kid, there's no name to that. So he was exactly going through the same because the illness it had started a year before and nobody knew anything about it. So we just knew some things were changing in her habits and the way she used to be. But when the doctor said there is absolutely nothing to do, and we went researching and did all the research and we found out there is nothing to do, that's when the hard part comes. So that is why probably he came to you were connected in a way. I don't know. He was going through the same thing, feeling helpless about something that was going to happen and there was no way to stop. So that's what really makes us very, we are trying to make people conscious about the importance of trying to have a healthy life. Well, there is nothing to do, right? This is not like pediatrician cancer or anything like that. This is something that has no cure. So the way Jess tried to tell us, everyone, how it is possible to live smiling and being strong even at the end is what really is amazing about her. And Emily was able to capture that on the movie. But going back to boxing, I don't like Mauricio boxing either, but there is nothing I can do. So I understand it. I understand Pedro.
We would love to hear your idea, Pedro. You started
Yeah,
talking.
for first and foremost, I would like to share some facts. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of. The brain is the hardest organ to treat, right? So with that being said, if we fully focus on brain cancer research, and let's just say we find a treatment that's successful for brain cancer, then we could use that treatment for every other cancer imaginable. Being that the brain is the hardest thing to treat. But we're backwards in this country, unfortunately. We tend to focus on what's mainstream or what's trending or what's popular, but brain cancer is literally at the bottom of the list when it comes to funding and when it comes to awareness. It's literally at the bottom of the list. Somehow, some way, later down the line, that's gonna have to change. Also, 70 to 80% of people being diagnosed with brain tumors are children under the age of 15. My daughter was diagnosed at 15. What else? See, I need to write all this stuff down. But one of my main things, back to the idea, I feel like we could use the blueprint that public school systems use to put fear in children by bringing them to these scared straight programs and bringing them to these prisons. Like that same energy that we use for that, we could use it for an opposite, like feeling like inspiration. So we could use that same blueprint and use it to inspire kids instead of putting fear in them. How? By maybe connecting with a hospital. If they can't get there, if we can't get the kids there physically, we could do a Zoom meeting with the children, with the patients, so they could be inspired. And first we educate them, but my main thing is to inspire the youth regarding this disease. Why? Because they're the future doctors, they're the future researchers and future scientists. So it's very important to me. That's very, very important to me, is to not just educate adults, but educate children. And I'm willing to do whatever that takes. I'm willing to, and we could use the film as a way to bring that into school systems. But I think it's very important because I remember growing up as a kid, and I got my 11-year-old daughter with me in the back. I just picked her up from school. Do they teach you anything about diseases and cancer? Do they bring? Oh, she knocked out.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she knocked out. I just picked her up literally like 15 minutes ago. But anyway, I feel like there's not enough education in the schools. And with that being said, there's not enough kids being inspired to be a doctor or because if these kids know, wow, that kid my age is fighting for his life and there's no cure. I want to be the one to find a cure, Ma. I want to be a doctor. And these kids got more chances becoming that than us pushing sports down their throats, because that's what the schools does. they got more chances becoming a successful doctor, a successful scientist than becoming a professional athlete. You know what I'm saying? I know.
You're right. You're absolutely right statistically that they do. And it's hard to separate Jess's story and the film, Emily. So once the film is released, it's not been released on platforms now. Is that part of your vision to get this film with some sort of panel into schools across
Yes,
the world?
that'll be great. That'll be great. If you guys got any connections with public schools or any school, it doesn't matter. It can even be in Mexico. It doesn't matter. It's a start. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody will follow along. All the school systems. I just see something good coming out of that.
I think to answer the question, there's a few platforms, the streaming platforms specifically, that focus in the education sector. And when we were on the film festival circuit, we did several education screenings with high schools and middle schools, where kids were able to talk about what was happening in the film and ask questions, and also kind of share their own experiences, be it, around illness with grandparents, siblings, whatever that is. So I think that the simple answer is yes. Obviously, we hope that this will be something that, again, inspires people. And I think the thing where it starts in general is right now we're hoping that we'll have a release date probably in the summer. So once we're on those platforms, we're hoping that the more people watch it, the more word of mouth, the more, somebody tells somebody who tells somebody, and then that kind of opens the door. But we do have an education plan in place on our website, JessZilla the film. We also put together an education and discussion guide that really kind of talks about all of these different things. And so that allows teachers to bring this in. And the original film that we did on Jess and Pedro, which is called Girl Boxer, which is on the New York Times website. They have a teaching with New York Times OpDocs, Girl Boxer, and they also have essay questions and things that get kids thinking around what Jesselyn was going through at the time. So education has always been kind of a component of our film, but not necessarily the only component.
You have done other films and won awards too, and you're known as a director who likes topics that show resiliency. And are there other films that you've done that you feel that, is that a part of why you do the work that you do, that you've chosen to really educate and show these things to people in a manner that's entertaining, but still valuable and worthy?
Definitely. I think there are a lot of topics, and the thing about being a filmmaker is, we're all people. We all have this human experience here on Earth, and we go through a lot. And some of the things that we go through are not easy to talk about. And I find that by putting it in the context of a film, it allows people a way to talk about what they've been through, or see something that they're going through, empathize, open minds. Like, to me, film is such a powerful medium because I have both made and experienced movies that have changed the way I think, that have allowed me to meet people halfway across the world that maybe are in a completely different culture, but I still relate to. And I think that's a really beautiful thing to be able to do. And with this film specifically, at the beginning of the year, I was fortunate enough to be able to show JessZilla through the U.S. Embassy in Cairo in Egypt. And it was amazing, some of the things that came up in the Q&A, where people started talking about how, I guess there's like a very big children's hospital in Cairo, and suddenly this film got them thinking about all the kids that are in that hospital and for what, and how could they help, and how could they be part of the solution. So even if it is, about just raising awareness, like what you all have been helping us do and pioneering with the Gray Belt, like these things are huge because suddenly people are just starting to think about it. And then maybe that turns into a, how can I get involved? And maybe that's volunteering, maybe that's donating, maybe that is becoming a researcher, like Pedro says, or being inspired to become a researcher. But it has to start somewhere. And I think awareness has always been the first place. And that was one of the biggest things, I think, and Pedro, correct me if I'm wrong, Jess wanted to raise awareness around brain cancer. Me, Pedro, like brain cancer was not on our minds before this happened. And now, you know, it's something that we realize, like there's Breast Cancer Awareness Month that we all talk about, but where's the awareness for brain cancer? Where is the conversation? And so I think we're really proud to be able to have something that, yes, is entertaining, but is doing something a lot more.
Well, you know, when it comes to the brain, it is possibly the least progress is made, whether it's brain cancer, epilepsy, mental illness. It is the least advancement of any of the illnesses that the human goes through. I've worked with the Epilepsy Foundation and other groups. It's very, very frustrating. But Victor feels we should catch people up who are not on the same page as us. That this was originally that Jesselyn Silva was one of the top amateur athletes from an early age, what, 9 years of age, Pedro? And the film was in. And Emily, how did you meet the Silver family? How did you get involved with them to begin with? And then it's hard to separate Jesselyn from the film, but let's try to do that for our audience for a moment.
Sure. So I think Victor had asked, you know, who was Jesselyn? What was she like? And I can only speak from when I met her, which she was 10 years old at the time. And I was very hesitant to do a film on a child because it's different. You work with adults, it's, you know, they know kind of what's happening. I wanted to make sure this was a positive experience, that I wasn't going to be with a father who wanted to live his boxing dreams through his daughter. Pedro and I had talked a little bit over email, and I said, okay, we're going to meet. We met in a gym in New York City with her coach Hez at the time, because she was going between Hez and Don as coaches. And I walk in, and Pedro sort of, you know, he's a bit more reserved, a little bit, I wouldn't say shy, but he's not, like Jess was so big, like she was a big personality. And so I see sort of this man, and he's like, oh, hey, like, what's up? Like, I'm Pedro, you know, we talked. And in the background, there's this little girl, and she's like, ah! Just railing on a bag, and then like doing push-ups, and then going back to the bag. And Pedro was like, yeah, like, thanks for coming down. Like, yeah, that, you know, Jess is just training. And in the middle of all this, she's like, Poppy, how many more sets do I have? And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, oh my goodness, this man is holding on for dear life. He is along for the ride, and this little girl has the reins. And that was the beautiful thing from the moment I met them, was I loved that there was so much love between them. First of all, that was evident. Jess loved her dad, like looked up to him, appreciated him in a way that appreciated him in a way that kids love their parents, but she was wise beyond her years with the appreciation she had for him. And then seeing him recognize this love his daughter has for something that is scary as a parent. I mean, you talked about how it's scary to watch your son spar. And so here he is in this moment being like, how am I going to support my daughter? But I also want to keep her safe. And how do I nurture her dreams and her love for this sport, while also realizing that this is dangerous and there's things that she doesn't know? And how do I guide her with love? And that was the thing that stood out to me. Jesselyn was love in a sense, in a way that it was just so evident. All of that joy, it came from a place of loving life, loving others, appreciating all of these moments and all of these opportunities. And I set out to make a short about a young person, specifically a woman in a male-dominated sport. And when we finished, I was like, how cool would it be to follow this kid to the Olympics? And I think I said to her, would you be interested in, if, we kept filming, for, to follow you if you go to the Olympics? And she kind of like looked at me and was like, when I go to the Olympics. And I was like, right, my mistake. I'm so sorry. When you go to the Olympics. And that's who she was. It was, I think not only rare for a child to have that kind of ability to know what they want and go after it with their whole heart, with no regrets. But she was a child, and she knew, and I believed her, and I sincerely believe that she would have gone if she hadn't gotten sick. But in some ways too, when she did get sick, we were lost, and she wasn't lost. She knew exactly what she needed to do. She needed to keep us going. She needed us to finish the film. She needed to inspire others. She needed to raise awareness. Like there was this wisdom that she just had that you can't like teach. And that to me is what made her special and just such it was what made her the person, the amazing person she was. She was amazing for so many reasons, but to me, there was something there that's like, you can't teach. She was wise beyond her years. Pedro always said, she was beyond her years. She was wise beyond her years. And I think that's the perfect way of explaining who Jess was.
Just amazing. I know, Sochi, you wanted to ask something. I saw your hand up.
Well, yes, that's beautiful, Emily. It's beautiful how you capture the atmosphere, and thank you for sharing this. I will take on Pedro's before when he was commenting about education. I think a way I was trying to think. Of course, this Jess has to be an example of bravery, of wisdom, of inspiration for many, okay? And we have a program that is called Mind of a Champion here in WBC University, where we capture champions or former champions, world champions, where they pass through anxiety, through depression, suicide prevention, from addictions. And I think it's no difference going through an illness for the family or for Jess was a champion of life, you know? And I think if we work with you guys and in this program, it will be ready to go into the schools, okay? Like mind of a champion, because she was the mind and the spirit of a champion. Like she was guiding you. I don't know. I was just for me, education is very important, and I always try to find a path. But if we have the film to support that, our experts and everything, and your testimonies from both of you, and whoever you consider, I think we can put a very, very special educational program together for you with the support of WBC belt and everything, a whole strategy. So I congratulate you for thinking in the future, because we're talking here about the future, research, make conscious, everything. And I suppose you has her dad, the people around her went through all this anxiety. How did she feel when she was not training? How did she went through this, you know? So I was just going to comment that, Jill. Thank you.
And she was a champion. She was a 3-time national champion. Chris?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree with Pedro that in cancer, having the cure for brain cancer would be the cure for everything, every other cancer. But children are the future, but sometimes they feel scared about going to medical school and to be neurologists or neurosurgeons. That really scares them. And that's the reason why there are no good doctors on that specific cancer. So what about trying to support and to, I don't know, make something at WBC University for people to change their concept about going to school for brain cancer? My oldest kid, he wanted to go to school and he wanted to become a neurosurgeon. After watching that movie, you remember the movie where this doctor, he separated a brain into two because the twins were together because of the brain?
Siamese twin, yeah.
I don't remember the name of the movie, but it happened only once in lifetime. He was so impressed and he was so willing to change the world that he wanted to do the same thing. When the time came, he didn't want to go to medical school, of course. It scared him. But maybe we should do something about trying to impulse kids to go to medical school and try to find the cure for brain cancer, research, going to college, everything they have to do, and then they will have the cure for every other cancer.
I agree.
Pedro,
So your idea is great, Pedro, I believe.
at some point, Pedro, the parents supposed to guide kids. And you have this daughter with the tornado energy, trying to go everywhere and getting everything. I remember when I watched the movie that you said if she wanted to be a ballerina, I will support her. If she wants to fight, so you have to guide her. That's the parents' responsibility. But then this situation comes. But sometimes parents are not aware of that. How did you handle that to guide Jesselyn? Your microphone is up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even realize it. First off, thank you for all the kind words and encouragement. The beautiful reminders of my daughter. Thank you for all that. What was the question again? I'm sorry, Mr. Decker.
Victor wanted to know when you finally found out this news, since she was such a force, how did you guide her through everything that was going on and to come in her life after that?
Well, when we first got the diagnosis, I basically, to be honest, I protected her from it. Like I protected, the information from her. I told her, don't even look into it, because the doctors gave her 9 months to live. Yeah, they told me straight up, she got like 9 to 12 months. But it's through faith, to be honest. It's through faith, the strength of the Creator. I'm a man of faith. I don't follow religion, but I follow faith. Through that prayer, she was always so positive, though. Like she was so positive, and to be honest, she really believed that she would beat this. She really believed it. She really believed it. But one thing I do want to say, like when we got the diagnosis, like I wasn't aware that kids could get cancer. Like I was in shock. I only thought that was for older people. So that tells you, like the average Joe in this world, which is me, don't know. I didn't know. So it was news to me that a child could get cancer and things like that. But one of my goals is to change that. I don't want people to wait for it to hit home for them to want to make a change like me. I don't want them to be like me. I don't want nobody to be like me and be like, oh, now I want to make a change because it got hit home. So that I want to change. But back to the question, yeah, just faith, prayer. Jesselyn was so positive. Like it's not much for me to tell her besides comforting her and reminding her how strong she is and how she's gonna get through it. I'm there with her. My daughter had 10 surgeries. 7 of them were brain surgeries. So after you have a surgery with the brain, there's a type of recovery that goes with it. So yeah, she went through a lot. She was on 5 clinical trials, which are experimental treatments. Traveled all over the country. I've been to 7 different hospitals. Spoke to. Hi, but
we can only be
I
grateful.
know her. Go ahead, Jill.
I was just going to say we can only be grateful for the time we've had, and it certainly did everything humanly possible to help us spiritually and physically. And can you tell us a little about Cure and the legacy that you're creating for her now? We would love that information to get out there.
To be honest, I'm not thinking about her. Whenever, like when it comes to all this, I'm not thinking about her. I'm thinking about the kids that are on these hospital beds right now, literally taking their last breath. Like that's what I'm thinking about. It's the kids that are still in the fight that don't got the fair chance. You know, that's not a fair fight. And that's why it comes to the people, the people besides us, the regular, average Joe that don't know too much about brain cancer and that children are being affected by this. Each year is like 500 to 600 kids being diagnosed with brain cancer, and that's just in this country alone. And the number's been peaking every year. It's disgusting, man.
Do you
It's
think about
disgusting.
the parents also? You're thinking about the kids, but do you think this program should be like accompanying the parents? Of course, maybe,
Yes,
but also
yes.
like a program where, hey, this is a father who went through this, a family. What happens in the family? Do you
Yes.
stress? Do you feel sad? How do you manage all this with the rest of your family? Because you needed to be there for her, but also for the rest of your family. So do you think also to making this big, all this movement is going to impact parents, brothers, siblings? I don't know.
Yeah, it would. The more people involved, the better. The parents should be involved. The parents got to give what's that word? The parents got to sign off on it anyway. We can't just have a child participate in a program without the parents' consent. So the parents are gonna be involved, and I like that they would too. But it's devastating news for the family. I don't got a big family. Emily knows. I just got my mother and my brother basically. So I don't got a big family. It was tough, man.
We like to think that
Do you
you're
mind
part
if I hop in? I just want to say something, because Jill brought up Cure, Pedro, and I think it's really important that we also talk a little bit about the fact that Jess has a fund now, and that everything that goes to that fund, any donation, goes directly towards brain cancer research. And part of why we liked Cure specifically is that they work with families. They're not just only working with a sick child, they're working with the family from beginning to end, whatever that looks like for the kid and the family. And that includes having what you guys are talking about, stuff involving mental health, where they have resources. They help support parents if their parents are bereaved. And then most importantly, I mean, Kristen, who is the CEO of Cure, we have partnered with them, and she wrote us that there's a really promising study for brain cancer research. And she was asking us if we feel good about the money we're raising going to this new study, and we do. And so I think, as devastating as it is, I don't want to minimize the fact that there is hope. There are really smart people working on this, and we're really proud to have partnered with an organization that is working with some amazing doctors that see it the way that we see it, that want to provide hope. I think, Kristen, part of why we really, really loved her, one of the things she said, and Pedro brought up, that the doctor told Pedro that his daughter had 9 months to live. And Kristen said that no parent should ever hear that, ever. There should always be hope. There should always be treatment. And Cure's mission is to make that a reality. And so I think it's really, really important that the work that we are all doing together, there's a purpose to it. It's bigger than us. And to Pedro's point, he's now thinking about those kids and how we can help those kids. And this is, I think, a really wonderful way to make good on the promise that we made to Jesselyn, that we were going to honor her memory and her legacy by making it better for other people.
Emily, you just use a word that is very interesting, because I think I didn't know Jesselyn, but it looks like she has this energy, but she found a purpose in every position she was. So you start doing a film about a little girl with the Olympic potential, and suddenly everything changed also for you. Of course, I cannot minimize what Jesselyn felt, but she found a purpose that Pedro now is following, and you turn the movie that direction. How easy was this for you both, Pedro and Emily?
It was awful, and she was our leader. I kind of feel that way. Like, I feel like she's guiding us. And I feel like, for me, I set out to make a very different movie. I didn't know if I could make this movie. I was scared to make this movie. This movie is a lot of responsibility to two people that I love a lot, Pedro and Jesselyn, right? I didn't want to get it wrong, but she knew I could do it. She knew it would be okay. She knew that we had to do this. And to me, I felt just like it's sort of perfect, right? The moment that I met her, I could tell she was in charge. And I didn't think it would be that way with me, but it ended up totally being that way with me. That's how I see it now. Even in the work we do, you know, it's like I have her picture on my desk in my office. And it's like every decision I make, the emails I send, the outreach I do, especially around this, you know, she's with me. I see that. She's guiding it. She's helping us. I really believe that.
Emily, how will we know when the movie comes out? Because one, we would love people to donate to Cure. Two, we would love them to see the movie because it's an amazing experience, not just for those who are involved in boxing, but it is about a family. It's about a struggle that whatever the illness or situation you have, that in the end, even though we lose her, the light that she has shown on the world will keep living on and is inspirational to other people. So how do we donate, and how will we know when the movie is out?
Yeah, so right now, if you go to JessZilla the film, either on Instagram or .com, which is our website, we have a direct link to donate to Cure. I know the WBC has shared links as well. And when the movie is finally available on video on demand, we will be posting, I think, everywhere. The hang up, ironically, is we need to have Spanish captions because we want to make sure Spanish speakers, French speakers, people around the world can see this, because this is not just for English speakers. You know, we want to make sure everyone can see this film. And I've learned a lot about what happens on these video platforms. So I am hopeful that we are going to be out. We were supposed to be out in May. They're saying now June. We're kind of, Pedro always said, we're on God's time. So that's been the thing that I keep coming back to. And I would joke when we would film together, I would say I'm on Pedro's time. So we're back on God's time, and we know that it's gonna work out exactly how it's meant to work out. But the short answer is we will post on our Instagram and on our website, and people can find the film that way.
Can you say
That
again
sounds great.
what the Instagram is? Can you spell it, please?
Definitely. So our Instagram is at JessZilla. It's JessZilla, the film. And that is our Instagram handle. And then JessZillaTheFilm.com is our website and has all of our information.
Thank you. Did we have another video we were going to show before we ended the program?
Hi, my name is Jesselyn, JessZilla's Silva. Yeah, that's my name.
Gonna edit and put the other video, the one that it's a long version. But I really, it's really a total experience to talk with you and see how you turn this experience to be positive, to keep the memory of JessZilla. That Pedro, I would like to ask you how this nickname came up, and how you turn everything just to keep her memory, but to help other people.
First question, her nickname. Her nickname came up after one day in sparring, because we was calling her Too Cute, because her coach, her first coach, was calling her JessZilla Too Cute Silva, because they thought everything she did was cute. And I always reminded my daughter, ain't nothing cute about boxing. I remember telling her that a lot. Ain't nothing cute about this. We don't do this to look cute. But yeah, her coach Don would always say, too cute, and his wife. But she was sparring one day at the PAL, and after she finished sparring, she came out the ropes and she was like, JessZilla. And I looked at her, I was like, JessZilla. I was like, well, why you said that? It's like, oh, that's my nickname. Your nickname? I was like, who gave you that nickname? It's like, oh, I heard Doc call me that one time. JessZilla. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I like it. I like it. You should keep it. And she was like, so that's how that came about. Oh, what was the next question?
No, I was thanking you for turning this experience that is hurtful, but to help some other people also to make awareness with this, even when it hurts you, but also to keep her memory.
Yes. It's about keeping her memory and those kids before her, because there was a lot of kids. I'm going to tell you right now, there was a lot of families I followed throughout those 3 years of my daughter being diagnosed. Right now, all the kids are gone. They're no longer with us. All the kids I followed, they're not here with us no more. It's about for the greater good. One thing I realized throughout this journey, because you was talking about, somebody mentioned about a calling or a purpose. Yes, I do believe this is one of my many callings. I do have an understanding about that. And I have an understanding, like as I look back, it wasn't never about my daughter. It wasn't ever about my daughter's success and accomplishments, because that just benefited us to some degree. But this right here is more meaningful because it benefits the world. It's for the greater good. So I do believe this is our main purpose, is to bring light in this dark situation. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts every day, every single day. So sometimes I'm still in disbelief that my daughter's not here with me. She was my best friend. I don't got friends, to be honest. So you can ask Emily. Like I don't, like if I go out, it ain't I'm going out with the fellas or anything. Like I don't do that. Like if I go out, my kids are with me. We're gonna go out to Dave and Buster's, to the movie. That's me going out. I don't go out with other adults, or like when I go out with my kids, and that's it. So she went everywhere with me. Like my daughter went everywhere with me, literally everywhere. I took her everywhere. And I went everywhere with her. She was always with me. So that's why I'm somewhat in a disbelief still. It's only been, 7 months? Not even a year yet. But yeah, it's just one day at a time. But what helps keep me focused, because don't get me wrong, I fell in depression. I felt all of that. Like, if it wasn't for my other 2 kids, only God knows where I'll be right now.
But you do have
But
2
what?
beautiful other children, and that's
Yeah.
they need your love and attention too.
Yes, if it wasn't for them, like I said, I don't know where I would be. But one
Christiane,
thing that
go ahead, Pedro, sorry.
one thing that helped me through those emotions and thoughts is gratitude, man. Like you said it before, like in this meeting we had, Jill. It's gratitude. That helps a lot. Like I feel like gratitude is the medicine for depression. Gratitude is the medicine for mental illness. And I'm just speaking off experience because it helps me. The doctors gave my daughter 9 months. We made 3 years. How dare me complain about that? How dare me feel some type of way when there's kids that's given the same time and took their last breath at 6 months. They was given 9 months and left Earth six months in. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful. It's just hard because I attend these Zoom meetings with other families once a month. And sometimes I don't even want to share, like, how long my daughter made it, because I know there's parents in that meeting that lost their kids 5, 6 months after diagnosis. So I don't even share that. I don't even like to share that my daughter made 3 years with that group of people, because I'm sure it would trigger them. Like, Dad, his daughter made 3 years. Why mine only made 6 months? So it's like it's tough. It's a tough situation.
There is no good time or way to lose somebody that you love, whether it's weeks, months, or days. You have every right to share. Christiane, is there something as a mother of 3 children that perhaps you want to add to this?
Well, I think that's the only thing we have to, we really, mothers and fathers pray every day about going before them, right? But some people are not, they don't have that, that's not the way it's planned. So, and every story is a different story. So it doesn't matter if they told you 3 months and it was 3 years, and the other one had 3 years and it was whatever it had. Every story is a different story. And we are with you. We are trying to understand whatever you're going through. And please stay strong for those 2 other kids, and it'll eventually you'll feel better. That's all I think I can say for now.
Thank you. Thank you for the encouragement.
I don't think these people that are magnificent people like this, larger than life, beautiful lights that come into our lives, we never forget them. I mean, we're not supposed to. It's an honor, but we do move forward with our lives, and they come with us, and that's how we have to believe. You know, there's some things you're not meant to completely overcome just to be able to live with, and do what you're doing now, which is honoring her legacy and telling her story and benefiting other people who need to hear what you have to say. Emily, is there anything that you need to add?
No, I just want to thank you all for helping us get the film out there. Obviously, you all know boxing and you love it as much as Jesselyn did. Maybe less, because she loved it quite a lot. But I know that she would be so excited that people who really understood her were also joining our mission to raise awareness, both for childhood cancer and brain cancer. And so I just appreciate everything you all have done with us, including giving us this kind of platform. So thank you.
Thank you. Victor, back to you.
Yeah, I just want to tell Emily, I want to thank you because I'm also a storyteller, as you are. And sometimes you don't want to tell some stories, but you did it beautiful. And I want to tell Pedro, I'm very much like you. I enjoy all the time with my kids. Basically, I'm a single parent now. My kids are 20 and 18. Well, they have their mother, but they live 1 week with her and 1 week with me, and I take care of them. And we're very close. And I don't have too many friends as you. I usually spend my time with my kids. And of course, when I watch this story, I think about them, and I really appreciate what you're doing. I know it must be really hard. And my heart is with you. Thank you very much for this. Jill.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, and the feelings are mutual. Thank you.
We want to thank you both for being, we know this is a very emotional topic, and Pedro especially, opening your heart to us and trusting us with your work, Emily, with your story, Pedro. Thank you so much. And we
Thank you.
Pleasure. We can just say it's been a privilege, and we will continue to move this forward and expose Jesselyn and the movie, which tells her story so beautifully, to as many people as we can. Mauricio, thanks you for coming to us. We're glad that we helped make her legacy come true, and we will just keep moving with it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I got one more thing to say. Thank you. Thank you. It's back to an idea. I don't know if Emily brought this up before, but we could spread education or awareness through podcasts. I don't know if you have any podcast connections where maybe me and Emily could attend, and we could just, you know, share the story and answer questions and educate people and bring awareness in that way.
Yes, you should explore as many platforms as you can, and I'm sure that's possible. So one step at a time. But
Yes.
Sochi and Christiane are available for any kind of ideas in terms of educating people on the subject.
Absolutely, yes, we do have the platform, we have the website, whatever you need to do, we'll we're willing to help, of course. Well, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
beautiful, have a nice day, everyone.
Yes.
Yes, you too.
I just want to thank all of you. This has been one of the hardest and the heartfelt WBC talks, but it has a purpose, and I'm pretty sure that that is something more valuable than anything. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Christian.
Thank you, brother.
Jill.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for bringing this to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Have a good day.
Take care. Keep in touch. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. So Jesselyn, if you were going to make this movie, where would it start?
It would start like from the beginning. Hi, my name is Jesselyn, JessZilla's Silva.
At 9 years old, Jesselyn Silva has, pound for pound, more ferocity and drive than boxers twice her age.
Jesselyn started at 7 years old. Every coach that ever watched her fight mentioned that she is the future of boxing.
My big goal, I want to go to the 2024 Olympics and win the gold. I know I want to do that.
We in the hurt business. And we want to do the hurting, not the hurting doing us. Correct?
Watching her fight drains me. I feel like I'm getting hit. It's a combat sport. Basically, it's life and death.
I was gonna throw up.
Well, why do you let her do it then?
That's what she wants to do. If she want to be a ballerina, she could be a ballerina. She want to be a basketball player, she could be a basketball player.
Getting hit in the face is not fun, but it's fun to hit somebody in the face.
It's really cool to have a family in the gym and out the gym. I'm actually really proud that I'm a female boxer because it's a male-dominated sport and I'm inspiring other little girls to do it. I would like to tell little girls to never give up, always keep pushing no matter what anybody's telling you.
Don't have in other words. Yeah, go ahead. That's what I tell you, so
Language.
tell them.
Yeah, but the little girls.
I knew there was something wrong. We got the MRIs done, and my worst nightmare came true. My daughter's a fighter. She gonna fight this, man.
Everybody goes through something in life. Either make you stronger or weaker. Just gotta fight.
If you were directing this movie, how would it end?
I'm not even close to the end.